Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be revealing, not so much revealing, but I'm going to be going over my appointment setting manifesto. And this is going to be free for you guys today. I want to give you some value. It's been free for a while, but essentially this is a good starter framework for when you start appointment setting. You've landed the role, you want some training, you want a killer and proven strategy to book meetings. This is where you should go, is this appointment setting manifesto. I'll break down the framework today, I'll reveal it, I'll go over it. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Make sure you like, you comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And this is free, by the way. So if you go to the link in the description at the bottom, this is free to download, file and make a copy. It's on my Hubi link too. So there you go. Let's get into it. So the exact framework I use even to this day, which has generated over 500k worth of appointment set and countless more for clients and readers. And granted, I should update this more regularly, but I might have to after this. So revisit it as often as you need to. And yeah, let's get into it. Act 1, appointment setting opportunities. So you landed the position now. You've gotten into, you're trying to generate leads now, you're trying to get people to talk to you, you're trying to start conversations. So this is Act 1, trying to create those opportunities. So there's some inbound methods. For example, the inbound DMs that you get, some lead magnets, people swiping up for a free resource, and that basically gets your foot in the door to start a conversation with them. So that could be like a free training giveaway, that could be a free meal plan giveaway, if it's a fitness offer, that could be, and look, there's someone actually referring to it right now who's watching it with me. That's cool. Yeah, it could be any free training, any free giveaway, anything that's valuable to the audience. Use that as a way to start conversations. Call to actions, polls. So for example, if you're tired of XYZ result, DM me the word and then whatever word, and then people will start DMing you the word, and then you can start a conversation there. So those are some inbound methods. And the difference between inbound and outbound is outbound, you have to go start the conversation yourself. With inbound, the conversation is started by the prospect. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Outbound, as you can probably imagine, cold outreach, messaging followers, likers, commenters on the profile and your posts, joining groups, and then reaching out to the potential prospects there, the people that are in those groups. So those are some ways to generate leads. You want to couple both, but those are some ideas right there. And ideally, the business owner that you're working for already has systems in place to generate plenty of leads. Now, the second part, which is what you guys have been waiting for, well, the second and the third part that's coming up, but second part, foundations, Act 2. First and foremost, keep it genuine, keep it organic. Treat it as if you're talking to a good friend, because that'll massively increase your chances of getting them to actually open up, which is what you will need, and open to booking a call with you. And with that frame in mind, they're gonna see you as an actual friend, as someone they can trust, even if it's just someone through the internet rather than a complete stranger. This is why we'll also focus more on guidelines and frameworks rather than a specific script. I mean, it's fine in the beginning. So if you are just completely new to the game, you need a full-on guidance, you need something to copy word for word, yeah, you can do that. But ideally, I want you guys getting in the habit of making your own sauce, carving it out to your own style, because that's going to help you so much in the long run. It's going to sound more original and authentic. You know, it's like dating. If you were on a date with someone, they wouldn't bring a script, like you wouldn't bring a script, you wouldn't have like a piece of paper with things and with what things to say in front of you. That would just be really weird, right? You'd look stupid and they'll bulk out, they'll be unattracted to you. You just kind of freestyle it and you just kind of just shut your brain off and do it. Second thing, in terms of foundations and mindset, approach it with the right frame of mind. All appointment setting is, at the end of the day, guys, is just finding and qualifying people who need and want your help. It's the same thing as sales, but just with meetings instead of closing deals. You're essentially just finding and qualifying people who need and want help, even if they themselves don't know it yet. So while they, for example, might not think they need your help, might think that they don't need your program, that they can do it by themselves, there's a reason that you're there. And what you're supposed to do is kind of shift their mindset and show them how their way of thinking is flowing. And yes, they actually do need to invest in your program. Yes, they actually do need your help. Yes, they can actually do it on their own. Because if they could do it on their own, then they wouldn't be stuck there asking for help, following the content in the first place. So yeah, it is not a sleazy business activity. It's not forcing the prospect to do something against their will. Like, it's entirely up to them what they want to do. It's their life. It's not going to change yours, but what you have will certainly change their life. And lastly, it's not an act of manipulation. It's just asking the right questions. It's just finding the people that might need help in the first place, qualifying if they can even get help in the first place, and then showing how you can help them. It's all help. It's all giving value. It's all about being compassionate, being organic here. We're not here to do like a Wolf of Wall Street type affair, okay? Third thing, volume is everything. So never be attached to one prospect or conversation. So this is the biggest mistake I made in the beginning. Granted, you'll naturally get more detached as you start booking more calls, signing more clients, getting more results. But you also need to be okay with them walking away at any time. Because if they do, like, who cares? Because either you can't really lose in this situation, because either they're going to continue to be nurtured by your profile through your content, through your stories, and then they'll come back around and they'll be ready. Because this is what you'll find 97% of the time. It's a lot of people, they won't convert on the first time that they see your page and find out about you. Like, they need time to be warmed up. They need time to get to know you and what you do and trust you and believe in you, believe in your student results, everything. And then they'll be at a position where they're ready to trust you and maybe invest. You can also follow up, and then the other case is that they never speak to you again. But even then, like, who cares? The reason you feel this way, the reason why you're attached to every little prospect, the reason why you're scared of messing up the conversations that you're having, is because you're not pushing enough volume. Because if you're not pushing enough volume, it puts you in a scarcity mindset. You feel like you don't have enough leads to talk to, and that's going to lead to desperation. That's going to translate into when you talk to these people, and it's just going to be a case of, guys, 2xing, 3xing, or even 10xing what you're doing, and watching how 90% of the setting problems disappear. And also, I want to stress, I might add this to the manifesto too. It's all about, yes, increase your volume, but it's also about taking imperfect action. Because another mistake that I sometimes make, I'll come clean, I do make mistakes in this. Another mistake that I kind of make is I worry about trying to take perfect action, but it ends up just being perfect in action. Again, it's just being a perfectionist, me not wanting to screw up the convos. But guys, I want you to take imperfect action, get in the habit of that, get in the habit of imperfect action. Just don't care about if they, you obviously do care about if the prospect books in or not, to a degree, but don't be so attached to it. Like, just take the action, and then whatever happens, right? It's the mindset you gotta have. Because it's all well and good going from 10 to, let's say, 100 conversations, but then you're still scared to have those convos. You're still scared, and you're trying to take perfect action, but it ends up being perfect inaction. So now you have 100 convos sitting in the inbox that you have to reply to. So you're actually worse off than you were before, right? So volume is important, but also couple it with imperfect action, not perfect inaction. Don't just let it sit because you're scared of what to say. Just go through the convos regardless and try your best. So I hope that helps. Number 4, hold the frame, but not in an asshole way. So all frame is, guys, and you'll come to learn this a lot as you get more reps in the game and time in the game. All frame is just maintaining control and direction of the conversation. It's just basically, you have your way of reality, the prospect, the other person has their way of reality, but it's also, it's basically, when you have frame, the other person falls into your frame of reality. It's your way of seeing things. So what this basically means, and how this actually translates into appointment setting, for example, if you notice the prospect starts being curious George, they start drilling you with questions, throwing you objections, or giving you a hard time, it's because you suck at holding frame. Or maybe this is an opportunity to start holding your frame. So in their frame of reality, they just want to get to know as much as possible about what you do, your business, etc., getting some free tips out of you. And I think there's nothing wrong with free value. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. But there's going to be these people that will just ask you with so many questions, drain you of your time and energy. They could have easily gotten those questions answered through going through your content, but they just want to sap your time and waste your effort, only to not make a decision, only to not invest in your course, and that's just going to give you a hard time with making money in the long run. So that's an example of their frame. Your frame, on the other hand, is to, yes, help the prospect out, but ultimately get them to take action. So whichever frame comes out on top is going to win. So your frame, again, as I said, helping them out, making sure it's genuine, organic, but getting them closer to booking the call. Your frame has to come out on top. And there's some ways to control frame here. For example, you guys can read this by yourself. I don't want to make this video too long. Be the one asking most, if not all, the questions, yada yada yada, and then just implement this. You'll have an easier time. Open-ended questions is better than easy to answer questions, but it's better than closed-ended questions. So if there's a way to ask a question open-endedly, I'll almost always do it this way. Bonus points if it's easy to answer, because if a question's easy to answer, the prospect is going to be more likely to answer it, and then you're going to move the convo forward. What we try to avoid is closed-ended questions, because it doesn't give you as much information about their situation. Okay, open-ended questions give the prospect more room to answer however they want, and it makes them more comfortable, but it also gets them to reveal more info. So that's an example there. Number 6, already be providing insane value, have an optimized profile. So this is going to be down to the biz owner. Make sure their foundations are in place with the business, the content, the profile, everything. And number 7, track your numbers. These are some things you want to track if you're stuck, but you want to track this because if you read this example, if you send 100 messages, you get 35 replies, 6 are open to a call, so you send 6 links, 5 end up booking a call, and now you know it roughly takes 100 messages to book 5 calls. That's why it's so important to track your numbers. If you weren't doing that in the first place, this is just an example obviously, but if you weren't doing that in the first place, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know how many DMs to send in the first place. And that's going to mess you up. And here's a link to my tracking sheet if you also want to use that. And then there you go. You can also reverse engineer how much you want to make just because you tracked your numbers, guys. Number 8, last thing, appointment setting. If you believe it to be hard, it's going to be hard. If you believe it to be easy, it's going to be easy. And we want to think of it as easy. You know, it's no different to learning how to ride a bike. It's just a skill at the end of the day. The people who are ahead of the game, the people who are killing it in the game, just simply had more reps than you, had more time in the game. They had more chance to iterate what works and what doesn't, and their mindset is on point too. So don't beat yourself up if you're crappy in the beginning. Just keep at it, stay in the game, don't give up no matter what, and you'll master it in time and put the reps in. Same thing with sales. So here's the framework: opening, building rapport, finding leverage, pitching the meeting, objection handling if necessary. So shout out to one of my first few mentors. He actually helped me. He actually created this framework, so I want to give credit to him, give homage, and it's been killer. It's a nice quick way to book appointments. It doesn't take too long on your end, but it also books them in. So opening, first thing, find your way in. That's the intro. That's you starting the convo. Like we said earlier, these are some ways to start the convo. So that's basically opening. So for example, but one thing with the opening, so for example, you can thank them for liking or commenting on the post. They could slide up for a lead magnet. They could slide up with a keyword saying they're ready. Anything, that's an opening. But you almost always want to end off with a question, so you kick the conversation off. You get a response from them. So here's an example. Hey Name, just wanted to say thanks for liking my post. How's everything going on your end? Or if it's fitness, how's fitness going on in your end? If it's business, how's business going on in your end? You get the point. That's an opener. Building rapport now. So the whole time, honestly, you should be building rapport, and it should be getting higher and higher. Or when I say higher and higher, you guys should be trusting each other more and more and be more comfortable. But for the sake of this structure, build rapport. Start off with that. Just be genuinely interested in them. Actually build a connection first. Be there to help you out, because then that'll help you stand out from 90% of other setters who just want a booked meeting. They just want something out of you. You, on the other hand, you actually genuinely care about their problems and want to solve it. And you're building rapport. You're building commonalities. Let's say they're from Miami for some. Let's say Jesus Christ, my brain. Let's say they're from Miami and they're a Miami Dolphins fan. Let's say you are also a Miami Dolphins fan. Or let's say the biz owner you're working for, you're pretending to be, is a Miami Dolphins fan. That's building rapport right there. You guys have commonalities. You guys can talk about it briefly. Something I call validation, which is phrases like, oh yeah, makes sense. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's sick. Oh, nice. Whatever you want to say. That basically just shows that they're being understood and listened to. So you almost always want to use this. You want to use this very often when you're setting or speaking to people. You want to validate first. You want to show that you're listening. So here's an example. You're building rapport. So now you've built rapport. Third step is to find leverage. Leverage equals a bunch of things to different people, but I see it as influence, I see it as reason, I see it as ammo. You should be trying to dig for enough reasons for the prospect to hop on a call, because this is ultimately what gets them to hop on the call. This is what gets them committed. This is what gets them saying yes. Most setters just ask basic ass questions that don't give them any leverage. So by the time they pitch the meeting, they get left on red. Why? Because they don't see their time being worth. They don't see it worth hopping on a call with you. They'd rather do other things than hop on a call with you. And there's different types of leverage you can dig for. The only way you're gonna get leverage, and the only way they're gonna want to hop on a call with you, apart from trusting you, liking you, building rapport, yada yada, is if they are in enough pain, if they have enough desire. Time can help too. So for example, how long have they been in pain for? How long have they been wanting the goals that they wanted to achieve for? You can string all these together. So pain, for example, do you not like the 9 to 5 you're in at the moment? If you're helping people in 9 to 5, oh, why not? How far away from your goal? So those are no example questions. Desire, what kind of goals do you have? What kind of goals do you want to achieve in the future? How much do you want to make in the next few months in terms of revenue? Where do you see your dating life being in 3 months if it's for a dating offer? You get the point, right? All it is pain and desire that's going to make people take action. And then time helps a lot too, because it takes the pain and it accentuates it even further. It makes it even bigger. If it's going on for longer, it's going to hurt more. If they've been wanting a goal for longer, they're going to want to desire it more. So in practical terms now, when you're setting, you're basically looking for things they tell you. So for example, pain points. Oh yeah, I've been stuck in my 9 to 5. Let's say you're helping 9 to 5ers again. Oh, I've been stuck in my 9 to 5 for 3 years. I absolutely hate it. I feel like it's the same thing every day. That's a piece of leverage. So these little sentences and phrases that they're telling you, they should all be ringing alarm bells in your head, and you should be using them as ammo. If they're telling you this stuff, the more they tell you too, and the more detail they tell you, that's all good for you. That's really, really good, because it's just more pain, more desire. But you don't need them to tell you every single thing, because you'd be taking way too long in the DMs. So all we need, guys, is 1 to 2 points of leverage, maybe even 3, and that's all you need to pitch a call. That's enough for me in my head. Okay, this guy's ready for a call. We can help him out. So like I said earlier, here's some examples. They don't need to tell you their whole life story. You just need a couple points of leverage, a couple phrases, and then you're good to go to pitch the call. And it takes practice. It's a gut feeling you develop. But if you're just stuck, safe bet is to pitch sooner than later, because it's a safe bet. It's better to do that than later, because when you get to later, if it's too late, the conversation's probably died out by now, and it's just taking longer and longer. Here's an example that you can read. Pause the video if you need to. And here's some tips too. Number 4 is the pitch. So now you've started the convo with them. You've gotten some rapport with them. You guys trust each other. They trust you. You're genuine, trying to help them out. Maybe you have some commonalities. They give you some leverage. They tell you some pain points, some desires. They tell you how long it's been happening for, if they want to. They tell you a bit of everything. Now, boom, you're in a position to pitch the call. When you pitch the call, the most important thing, guys, is, for God's sakes, sell the meeting, not the offer. So what I mean by that, when people say that, what I mean is, don't go straight into the course. Don't talk about the course you're selling, the service you're selling, the coaching, the mentorship program you're selling, what's inside, how much, okay, and God forbid the price. Like, don't tell them the price unless you're instructed to by who you're working for. But most of the time, you're better off not telling them this stuff. Why? Because all you want to do is get them on the meeting in the first place. I mean, at this point, you've identified by now that this is someone you can help. So just get them on the meeting as soon as possible. This whole offer thing will get taken care of by the closer. They'll work their magic. They're going to be on the phone with them. They're going to be in a buying state. When you guys are going back and forth in the DMs, it's just the DMs. They're not going to be in much of a buying state yet. Unless they tell you they're ready to go and pay and ask for the link, that's a different story. But most of the time, you guys are just in the DMs. So just get them on the phone first, sell the meeting, sell the idea of hopping on the meeting, not necessarily the offer. Let the offer selling be done for the high ticket closer. So as I said here, you want to pitch once you found 1 to 2 leverage points, you have rapport, and you can actually help the prospect. Keep it casual but direct, so just be like, honestly, hate to be forward, but I feel like we can definitely help you out. You're here to help. At the end of the day, pitching should make you feel good. You're giving them an opportunity to change their life, and present it as a benefit to the prospect, not a burden. So again, like we talked about with frames, it's like their frame is, oh, I don't want to hop on a sales call. Oh, I don't want to buy anything. Oh, I don't want to invest in the program. Oh, I don't want to waste my money. Oh, I don't want to this and this. Your frame should be, look, they've been stuck in this situation for a while. They need help for sure. I've identified that. They trust me as well, which is good. They need to make a decision. Otherwise, they're just going to keep going through the same thing they're going through, which they're not happy with. I need to help them out. It's my duty. So when I say present it as a benefit to the prospect, not a burden, you kind of just see it like that. It's like, for example, when you send your calendar and you tell them to book in a call, they're going to see it as a burden. Normally it's gonna be like, oh damn, I have to go out my own way, I have to put in the slots in the calendar, and I have to find the time, and it's like I have to fill out these questions now. Oh, what? There's so many questions. I'll just do it later. You need to present it as a benefit, and how you present it as a benefit, as an example, is sending your calendar helps them lock in a spot and save their time going back and forth with you, because you could have easily just going back and forth. Hey, does 6 p.m. work? Oh, what time zone? Oh no, 6 p.m. doesn't work. Oh, maybe try 4 p.m. Oh, I can't do 4 p.m. You're going back and forth. When you send your calendar, you're saving them time, and they get to lock in a spot. So show them show them that it's actually benefit. It's not a bad thing. Here's an example. Feel free to copy some of the lines too. So by now, hopefully, they've actually booked in a call. So from that point on, just make sure you're following up a few hours before the call, once or twice, like 6 hours and 12 hours before the call, just to make sure they can show up. If you have any pre-call videos, pre-call material that you want them to go through, send that over right after they book in. But other than that, you're chilling. If they have objections, here's a 45-minute training on my YouTube which covers this. So again, you'll be able to click on this link by going to the free resource, which is in the description. So yeah, go through that. Bonus conversation examples. I won't go through them right now because I don't want to make the video too long, but once you get the resource here's some examples and where they came from. Alright, so that's it guys. Feel free to steal this. I hope this helps you out a lot. I hope you book a hell of a ton of meetings and make a ton of money with this simple ass framework. Remember, it's just 5 steps. The opening, basically starting the convo, building rapport, finding leverage, pitching the meeting, any objection handling if you need to. Okay, very, very simple. You can get creative with this. You can spin your own sauce. There's not really a script. It's just like the four to 5 stages of booking an appointment, and then you can put your own spin on it. Okay, so that's the end guys. Hope you found this valuable. Implement it. Feel free to DM me any questions on my social media. Here's my Instagram and my Twitter, YouTube. And yeah guys, this will be free to download, available to download in the description, so go check it out. Also, it's going to be on my Hubi link that's attached to the top of my YouTube channel, or also the link in my bio on my Instagram and my Twitter. Okay, so it's there, all for the taking. Feel free to use it, save it, go through the examples, and yeah, just get the reps in with this. Okay, so you're used to using it. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I hope that helps, and I hope you guys crush it for 2024 onward. We're nearly 6 months in. Let's keep it going, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.